Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl and Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Again, welcome to Sportsline Trivia is what we call the program. And an hour's worth of you on the phone with us. Hope you give us a call. Mike, can you see that number right there?
724-236-0430. Actually, I didn't even look. How'd I do?
Yeah.
I did well.
Yeah.
It's starting to ingrain itself. I can still remember back to, you got to remember old phone numbers I had when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh. I remember the one, this goes back, Mike.
Okay.
To the early 50s, and you had a party line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have a private line?
You had to be a big shot.
Bucks.
You were a big shot,
okay.
Right?
20 or 2055M. And when the phone would ring, you pick it up, and then you'd hear the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Click, 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 click. Boy, am I glad that's all gone. But anyway, folks, welcome to the program. Let's take a look at the rules and regulations on how to win a prize. If you're calling our show tonight, we pay out every other week. So if you win a prize, lay off for 1 week and call back in 2. Of course, you can call back, but you won't get a trivia question. So you can win the Grand Salami Prize or the Mystery Profile once in a calendar month. And you can try the Mystery Profile only once in a calendar month. Also, multiple choice questions, we give you 15 seconds. The Grand Salami is at 20. Mystery Profile, we go clue by clue, and as fairly quickly as we can because we give 4 or 5 clues for that. And if you've not been on this program for the last year, we label you a first-time caller, or you could be a first-time caller ever. More than one prize is yours with a correct answer. And the answers to the trivia questions can be found on my website, doubledribblebob.com. In fact, one of the things tonight on, well, I don't want to go through it, but it's there. It's on the salami that I had featured on too many weeks ago. Tune into my radio show on sports, history, and sports nostalgia. Saturday mornings at 10. WAVL radio is 910 on the AM dial. So that's pretty much it. Pirates' big day, opening day.
It almost got away from him at the end.
5-1.
Mark Melancon's going to have to work a little while to get that ERA back down. Tony Watson's doing that from the 3 runs that he gave up on opening day in Cincinnati. When you're a short reliever, it takes a long time to get that ERA back down. And Melancon gave up 3 runs in the 9th inning today. But as I like to say, Major League Baseball rules dictate you need only win by 1 run. So all's well that ends well. I'll take the win, especially against that. The way that Tiger team is hitting,
Boy, that was their first loss.
Wow, they won their first 6. How about that? They won their first 6, and they were still tied with Kansas City because Kansas City had won their first 6.
Right. So good one. So the Buccos win opening day against Detroit, and we have another one coming up Tuesday.
Yeah. They don't have the day off tomorrow,
and
which is really weird.
Milwaukee is coming back.
Right. We'll see Milwaukee again this weekend for 3 games.
The Pirates have nice to take 2 out of 3.
It was. Well, they got themselves back on track after that the bad start in Cincinnati that they lost all 3 games in the last at bat. So some guys just aren't hitting yet.
Get used to some new Pirate names. How about the kid today that pinch hitted?
Oh, Corey Hart.
Yeah, Hart used to play for
Milwaukee.
So
he was one of the few guys on that team that didn't completely irritate me, so I'm glad to have him. I said, if he can just now, I hate to go back to the past and bring up names, but if he could just give us what Bill Robinson gave us as that right-handed, first baseman slash outfielder to be a part-time, maybe 300 at-bats a year type of guy. I think they could have something with him. Pedro's off to a great start with the long ball, too.
Yeah.
As long as they don't hit him the ball, I think we're okay.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back. Tony is on the line to kick us off. So what else is new, right? Tony will be kicking it off tonight, and we've got Terry holding on. So Mr. Tampa Bay is also on the line tonight. So great day today weather-wise. Holy mackerel. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Parkview Tavern on First Avenue in Breckenridge has 16-ounce Budweiser and Bud Light drafts for just $1.50 all day, every day. Just $1.50. Stop by the Parkview Tavern on First Avenue and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
Parkview Tavern on First Avenue in Breckenridge has 16-ounce Budweiser and Bud Light drafts for just $1.50 all day, every day. Just $1.50. Stop by the Parkview Tavern on First Avenue and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
All right, folks, we're back. Let's go to the phones and grab Tony here real quick. Tony, thank you for tuning in tonight and being, again, part of the show.
Hello.
Good evening,
There
sir.
he is.
How are you guys?
We're doing good.
Great game today.
So I had a question. Before we get to the matters at hand, have you had a chance to get out and play yet?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, I was going to say, this has been unbelievable. I can't remember it being so late before you could actually get out to play.
I know. I've been, last year, heck, I don't know how many rounds I hit by now.
I know, seriously. You at least figure you get maybe a couple in February, a lucky couple days, and
Sure.
handful in March, but nada.
Nada.
Nada. Well,
Oh, well.
hit them straight.
We'll open it up tomorrow.
There you go.
Is Terry next?
Yeah,
There he is next. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little under the weather.
He's okay, he said.
He said he's
Okay, I'm glad.
He's back at it.
I
so.
hope he heard what I said about him. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know if he was on the day. You know, he gave me all those accolades, and and I gave him a bunch of accolades
Yes.
too. So I hope he's feeling better. Now let's get to the old ball game, which is no more old ball game. The game has changed so much; it's ridiculous.
Yes.
And I really don't like it. I don't like how the managers manage anymore. Late innings, I was taught, hug the lines. Why you hug the lines? If a guy hits a double, you can't double him up with the next guy coming up.
That's right.
All right? But not the Pirates. When that guy led off with a double, the first pitch he hit was down the right field line. It was foul, but I looked at the first baseman. He's off the back 20 feet.
Yes, he is.
And I said, what's he doing there? The next pitch, Harrison's off the back 20 feet double.
No.
That's pathetic.
And-
Give
and-
him a single. At least the guy's on first, the next guy can hit into a double play. But they've changed everything.
They have. The thing that kills you is, though, that they still play the outfielders deep, because you want to play deep so they don't let the ball go over your head so you don't give up a double. Now, they still do that, but they've completely gotten away from guarding the lines in the late innings.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, just common sense tells you that, like that.
They're married to,
if
Tony,
a guy
they're
hits
married
one
to
down
their
the line, he's going to get a double. If you're there, he's out. If he hits it in the hole, good, he got a single.
They are married to those spray charts. They are married to those charts now. They are.
LaRusso changed a lot of this stuff.
He did.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was his brainstorm or what, but
Well, hey, for instance, I'm catching some of the Yankees on Saturday. As they're not very. It's weird. The Pirates are actually better than the Yankees now, but I'm watching some of the Yankees because I like to torture myself, and because they're not very good. But they were talking about how they had played a 19-inning game the night before that went
Right.
until 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had a 1 o'clock game on Saturday. So. And the announcers were saying, well, in the old days, what you would do is you would take your bench players and you'd throw them and you would cobble together a lineup with your bench players and maybe one or two of your starters would start, and you would do it that way. Now, in the American League, you have 4 people on the bench.
Right.
That's all you have. So if you went and played those 4 bench people, you're still stuck with, running out people that are dog tired from playing 19, 20 innings the night before. I guess you change out the catcher. That's about all you can do.
You should play your shootout.
No, it's amazing. But I'm listening to that. They go, there's only 4 people on the bench. And I'm thinking, well, if the DH plays, you have 9 players in the starting lineup, plus
Right.
4 is 13, and everybody carries 12 pitchers. And a lot of teams now are carrying 13 pitchers, the La Russa thing you were talking about, because okay, 1 batter for you, 2 batters for you, 1 inning max for that guy, and that's what it is.
Yep, he changed the game, all right, and everybody's, well, okay, whatever.
It is, well, yeah, it is what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
I deal with it, yeah.
I'll watch it and, frown.
Yeah,
and,
I still want my team to win. That's the bottom line.
Well, the Pirates' bat woke up a little bit today.
And yesterday.
And Corey Hart's got to be the still of the century. We don't get guys like that. How did we end up with him?
If he hits it all like he used to hit in Milwaukee, it is. This is a 30 home run guy, and now you'll be able to. And I got he goes in there tomorrow night, and Marte sits down for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do. Now I don't know how they configure the outfield in that case.
Marte's back to his usual thing, swinging at paper cups and anything that flies past him. There he goes. They were bragging, how much he got away from it last year, the second half of the season. Well, guess what?
And I'll tell you what, Tony.
It's back. Anyhow, Corey Hart has swung at 4 pitches, has 3 hits,
right,
4 RBIs, and a home run.
Well, he saw 4 pitches.
The only reason he wouldn't have swung at 3 pitches because the first pitch today was in the ground.
He murdered that thing today. Oh, my goodness.
My God. He went over the 410 mark.
Some feet,
you hit that thing to the notch. That's a poke.
Oh, my God, yes. And then the wind was, I think, blowing to right field at the time.
It was. He kicked it across,
Oh, well, hey, that's what we need. We need more pickups like that, not the garbage that we picked up.
Exactly. And they needed every run they got, too. So.
Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it.
Well, that's why yesterday, when they were doing all that in the 9th inning, it didn't bother. I don't care how many they score. You never know how many you're going to need.
Tony, you were asking how.
Exactly.
Tony, you were asking how we picked him up. He was a free agent.
Yeah, right.
Well, last year was awful. He has basically missed the better part of the last 2 years with knee surgeries on each knee.
Yeah, both knees.
And he said that he feels great. And I watched him doing his running and doing a lot of different things in Florida. And there's no signs of a limp. There's no signs of him even being slow, really.
No.
So you have to be careful with him. I think his days of playing 550 at bat guy are over. But I think that if he continues to swing the bat like that, they're just going to have to find ways to get him in there.
Oh yeah,
Seattle was paying the guy $6 million.
Yeah, the Pirates didn't pay him that much. I think the Pirates. I think it's $3 million.
Yeah, it's 3.
Wow, $3 million.
It's like
a pauper these
days.
Then
no wonder we got him.
Yeah, no wonder we got him. But that's all right. That's right.
I remember talking to George.
I get more of those guys, not this garbage we bring in, and hope. Yeah. Hope that something happens.
I remember talking to George that day, and we were kicking his name around, and then like an hour later they signed him.
Yeah.
I called George back. I said, "Hey, George, they were listening to our phone call."
Okay, I don't want to be on it too long because Terry's on and Mr. Tampa Bay. I don't want to hold them 2 gentlemen back. And hey, Bob, did last week you said something? You had like 4,000 interviews after the game or something? Did you say something like that?
We were talking about with all the high school games that we did. They were not my interviews. Joe was assigned to. We exclude football because we did it in basketball.
Right.
Right.
We would name an MVP for the football game, but we didn't.
Right.
It was the logistics didn't allow us to do it. Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, if basketball accounts for about half of the games that we did, easily, because we do more than
for some reason I thought I heard you said you did 4,000.
No, not
I
me.
was ready to call Orebro City Hall and throw a parade for you if you did that many. You got to be recognized for that.
It would be a parade in memoriam for Joe. Because,
I understand. No, I thought that you said that you did alone. That many over your career with football and all that.
And I can remember that one little boy, and I don't want to keep Terry, the one little boy from Burrell who's now married and has got kids, play for Burrell. Bill has his son.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know Bill.
When Joe was doing an interview on the balcony at Burrell, he'd be behind doing the little legs. We couldn't get rid of this kid. And now he's a star.
There you
Star
go.
athlete.
Does that.
But anyway, hey, Tony, thanks for the
Hey,
call.
guys, have a good evening, and we'll
too,
talk to you
Tom.
next week, all right?
Okay.
Hit him good tomorrow.
Yeah, hey, before we get Terry on, and I want to give Terry the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure Terry's going to take up some time. I want to do the break right now. We'll get that done now. Then we'll get Terry on. So, folks, stay with us.
Yes, I have a non-sports question I've been itching to ask Terry.
All right. So, coming up in a moment, we'll have Terry on with us. Sportsline Trivia continues right after this. Since 1914, the local area has relied on the Resevich family of funeral homes in deepest times of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley, now 100 years strong and still doing things right. Its reputation and unquestionable service now continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family of funeral homes, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road in Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Folks, if you're going to shop for pizza or stop for pizza, make sure that you give Mattio's a try. I was in there last week talking with Matt, who owns the place, and I said, you got to tell me about these awards that you have won, because this is not necessarily local. This is based on a wider area. So 2013, they won the Silver Award for the best pizza shop going. 2014, they won the Gold Award for the best sandwich that was made. And also last year, 2014, the Silver for the best pizza. I don't know what that is. I get to double check.
Best pizza shop.
Shop. Right, it looks like a flag from a golf hole. You look at the O and the P.
It kinda
Does
does.
that look like that?
Closest to the pin.
This script was not typed.
That's for Tony
It was
tomorrow.
drawn. And also, last year, Star 100.7 in Pittsburgh, one of the CBS stations, they were voted best pizza in the Burg. So, congratulations to Matt and his staff. They do work hard. Let's go to Terry and thank Terry for calling us here this evening. Terry, good to have you aboard.
Hi, guys.
Terry,
Good
good
to
evening.
hear from you, and good to hear that you're healthy.
Thank you. Well, yeah, fortunately, it's never anything bad. It's these stupid colds that just knock me on my rear end, you know?
And allergies have been really
yeah.
busting out all over here recently, too. Hey, before we get into anything sports, I have an astronomy question for you.
Yeah, and my answer is Venus. Now, what's your question?
Okay, the answer is, my question is this, that I was noticing this in Florida when I was there about a month ago. And now, again, this is out on an island, literally, out on an island. And the sky seems so much blacker there than it does here at home. Every time I'm there, I marvel at looking at the stars. I love to look at the stars. And you look up and the sky just seems so black. And my question is that an optical illusion? Is it because there aren't any city lights, there aren't any hills? You're out at sea, basically. What makes it seem like that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's what we term light pollution. It's all the city lights. Most of them don't have any shielding on them, so the light flies everywhere. Car lots are especially bad, of course.
Right.
Used car lots especially. And the light bounces down. Of course, it then hits the ground and goes up in the air. If you go out on the internet, you can Google something like the Earth at night and see pictures that show basically a map of the United States done by city lights that the satellites can see.
How about that?
And of course, the atmosphere scatters that everywhere, and then instead of seeing the pitch black sky, you do see a gray one, or if you're, say, downtown Pittsburgh, a milky white one. The more light there is on the ground, the more there gets into the atmosphere, and
it ruins
the
the
less
view.
black the sky is, and the harder it is to see anything.
It's because it is. I'm telling you, it is absolutely gorgeous, and it is. I noticed it, and it is so black, and just absolutely gorgeous. And because it's so black, the stars are so much brighter. And you know, it's one of the. It's just beautiful.
Think of a 1965 television set which had a contrast and a brightness control, and then take your contrast knob and turn it way down. And so everything's still as bright, but now it's difficult to see because everything's washed out looking. That's basically what astronomers fight when they're around city lights. And so there's places like Arizona and New Mexico with billions of dollars worth of observatory equipment out there.
And that's why.
And they've actually got lots of laws that prohibit city lights in different areas or unshielded lights. Those dusk to dawn lights are illegal. Just a variety of things because they're protecting a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry that's, of course, mostly paid by our tax dollars.
See, Mike, I knew this was my go-to
You
guy.
and I were talking about this about a week ago.
Right,
and Terry didn't call.
And then I said, the next time Terry calls, I'm asking this because it always fascinates me, and I just suspected that might be what it was. And you wouldn't think that even in some place like New Canton or Lower Burl or Arnold or here in Leechburg or any of those places that there is that much light that could affect it. But as compared to some place like that, there is.
Oh yeah.
There's much more hustle and bustle. This is crazy compared to there.
Terry, I'm glad
the
you
reason
answered.
I said my answer was Venus was because everybody's been asking me, what is that really, really bright star in the west when the sun goes down? And of course, it's not a star; it's the planet Venus.
Venus,
it's extremely bright. So I thought that was going to be your question.
Well, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I'm going to take a look for that tonight.
Yeah.
Because we still should have enough clear sky to see it. I hope anyway.
I'm glad you took the time to answer that because he was losing sleep over it.
I was. I miss it. I'll tell you what. I look. We've had a couple of really nice nights here. The Saturday night was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Too. And I just love it. Anyway, okay. Now that I've taken care of that, what do we got tonight here?
Okay. Well, first of all, I wondered if you two had heard the story about the big animals playing the little animals in a game of football.
No.
Are you going to talk about Coach? Oh gosh. Well, go ahead.
Well, as you can imagine, at halftime, the big animals were just creaming the little animals. It was like 41-0. But then the halftime's over, and the little animals kick off, and the big animals have the ball, so they decide they're going to run a running play with the elephant, and the elephant takes one step, and boom, he goes down. So then they decide to run another running play. They give it to the hippo. Boom, one step, he goes down. Next running play, they give it to the rhino. He doesn't even get to take a step. He goes down. Boom. So back in the huddle for the little animals, one of the guys says, well, who stopped that elephant? And the centipede said, I did. And then somebody else says, well, who stopped the hippo? And the centipede says, yeah, that was me again. And somebody else says, well, who stopped the rhino? Yeah, that was me again, says the centipede. Somebody else says, where the heck were you the first half? Centipede said, I was getting my ankles taped up.
Oh my! Oh my!
That's banquet.
You know what?
That's banquet worthy, Terry.
I thought he was heading in another direction, and it was something else I was familiar with.
Two things for banquet worthy: funny and clean.
Yeah.
Pass both. We got a winner.
And I'll give you a baseball trivia question based on that. One of the two best fielding shortstops of the past 30 years, that is his favorite joke. Now, who would that be, do you think?
Omar Vizquel?
That's right.
Okay. He's
he
in
did a
town this
stand-up
week.
comedy routine, I guess, up in Cleveland, and that's what he told.
He was, I saw him, Terry, probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. He was still with the Indians. And we were early. We had parked across the bridge and had walked over near the ballpark. We were going to pick up our tickets at Will Call, and then we were going to go get something to eat before we went to the game. And he was walking from the hotel to the ballpark to come play for the Indians that night. And he walked by. I said, my God, he's not all that much bigger than I am. It was such a shock that he was just so short, you know.
Yeah.
And like you said, I was a non-believer as far as Hall of Fame with him. But that's since changed. I think if Ozzie Smith's in the Hall of Fame, that guy's in the Hall of Fame because I think he was a better offensive player.
Yeah, I do too. Of course, I'm very biased, but I think he's
know.
the best shortstop I've ever seen. Now, there are people who have had a few seasons at shortstop that he could never hope to duplicate, you know, with big home run totals and things like that. But for a career, yeah, he's as good as it gets.
He was outstanding. He's first base coach for the Tigers now, I believe.
Yeah.
I know I saw him this spring, but he
was at the game today, of course.
Right. He looks like he could still play too. He is in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. He was just good. You know, if you wanted to pick a defensive player, he was the guy you wanted to get.
He really was. I'll tell you what, the Iglesias that the Tigers have now playing shortstop is fantastic.
Yeah.
But he missed most of all of last year with shin splints, and that's not what you want to hear with a young kid that's just coming up trying to play shortstop in the major leagues. That could be an issue for him.
Well, I was up in Cleveland on Saturday and saw them play the Tigers, and of course, Miguel Cabrera just ripped them apart, and they were saying he had 11 hits in 3 games with 2 home runs. But then I heard today on the Pirates broadcast that I think it was in '65, that Stargell had 11 hits with 3 home runs against Houston. So, you know, it does happen more than you think, perhaps. You know.
Hey, they gave a stat today that the Tigers had won their first 3 games by at least 3 runs. And the last time that happened was the 27 Yankees.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Now you're talking right there.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, this is and as we talked about, the funny thing is they haven't even been able to get themselves a lead. They're 6-1, and Kansas City's winning this afternoon, and they could go to 7-0, and Detroit be in second place. Now, again, you know, there's 25 weeks to go, but you get the picture. It's you know, it's not easy sometimes. You get put in the wrong division, and Kansas City seems to be picking up where they left off.
Yeah, well, you remember probably 10, 15 years ago now where Detroit started, like 28-2 or something that 1 year?
35
Came out of nowhere.
5. Yeah, they were 35-5. That was 1984. And they never looked back. They literally led wire to wire.
Yeah, and just coasted after that. I mean, how could you catch somebody like that?
Really.
Remarkable start.
Something of interest about Vizquel. Following the 1999 Vargas mudslide disaster, killed like 25,000 or so in Venezuela, he volunteered for the relief effort, and he helped to raise $500,000 for these people. So he must be one heck of a guy.
He is.
Yeah. Well, he's a painter. He had an art
also
exhibit
mentioned
at
here.
Museum in Youngstown.
It's also mentioned here that he does something with the kids regarding art.
Okay.
So, how about that? Well,
Okey-doke.
not in the Hall of Fame.
But he hasn't. He's not been up yet. I think.
Right,
I think
right.
he goes.
He played some last year. Didn't he play a little bit last year?
He might have. He was playing with the White Sox, and so he kept delaying it. I know he was 43, 44 still playing, so he'll be a while before he gets to go there. But,
last game was 2012 for Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So 13, 14, 15, 2 more years after this.
right,
Yeah.
and then he gets consideration. And like you said, Terry, with his glove, his fielding, only Ozzie Smith could hold a candle. I mean, those.
Yeah.
I think you put those 2 guys in a category by themselves.
Yeah, I saw him a game in Cincinnati go behind. Oh, geez. Guy almost took one in the head here for Kansas City from the Minnesota pitcher.
Uh-oh.
And I guess he's going to first. It must have hit his hand. I thought it hit the bat. But, yeah, I saw him in a game in Cincinnati go completely behind the third baseman and throw the guy out at first base. You know?
My.
Just remarkable.
Yeah, there's one thing that hasn't changed over the years, and that's watching great defense in baseball. That's really what wows you a lot of times is the great plays. You can't measure it. They try to measure now. They try to measure how important it is. I don't know if they can, but a guy like him is invaluable. And like I said, Jose Iglesias for the Tigers is right in that category of the next. And Andrelton Simmons from the Braves is consensus, I guess, the best shortstop going right now, fielding wise. And you like to watch these guys play and see. Okay, you can be that for a year or two. But you're a guy like Omar Vizquel or Ozzie Smith that does it for 20 years, and then you're talking.
Yep. Hey, speaking of defense, I'm not convinced about this guy in right field.
Polanco.
He's awful.
Yeah, I mean that ball that he dropped and then didn't bother to go get. Now they might have still lost that game, but I mean he just dogged it. He
wasn't. The guy was not going to score if he'd run and picked it up right away.
Yeah. And like I said, who knows? The next guy up might have cracked one out of the park.
Or he may have hit into a double play like we saw a couple times today.
It's there.
You live to fight another day. That's the whole point. I mean, first of all, he needs to catch the thing, but he was shaky on a couple of the ones today. It's funny. They, as he was coming up, and they talked about, this is going to be the most airtight, greatest defensive outfield ever, and then you get a look at him, and it's like, catching the ball isn't any different in AAA than it is in the major leagues. You might get that initial adjustment period to having the ball come down. The lights are higher, and a double deck or a triple deck stadium, but he's been here almost a year. You would think that would be gone, and his instincts out there are just not very good.
Yeah,
and when you look at Marte, you look at Marte, whose instincts in the outfield are actually very good, and so. I don't know, but I still think I like the kid, and I think that bat would make up for a lot of mistakes. But routine balls like that you really need to put away if you're going to be serious about going as far as they want to go. He needs to tighten that up and at least become reliable that he's going to catch everything that he gets to.
Terry, what do you want to do about trivia? We're at that point.
Okay, well I'll go for the mystery profile again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I give it to him then?
Go right ahead.
All right, here we go, Terry. Sponsored, of course, by Mattio's Pizza and Subs. And your first
best around,
clue.
I agree.
Pardon?
The best around, I agree. They're just tremendous.
Here we go. Number one, I pitched 15 innings of a minor league game and struck out 25 batters.
Jeez. Well, that's wide open. Neil Walker's father.
Okay, let's go to number two.
What was his name anyway? Tom Walker?
Tom
Yeah,
Walker.
Tom.
I remember him with the Expos, yeah.
Okay.
Number two, I began my baseball career with the Philadelphia Phillies organization.
Chris Short.
Nope, let's go to number three.
First game I ever saw, Terry, Chris Short pitched.
Oh, wow.
Here we go, number three, the $50 prize. The Dodgers cut me from their Major League Baseball roster in order to make room for a future Hall of Fame pitcher.
Wow.
And that pitcher, by the by, was Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, I was just guessing that. What's his name? Newcomb? Don Newcomb?
No. You're gonna be shocked.
Okay.
As a Major League manager, we're down to the 25. As a Major League Baseball manager, I led my team to 2 World Series titles.
Well, my first guess is Walter Alston, but I thought he was a catcher. That's the only guy I can think of, but I'm maybe stuck on the Dodgers now.
Okay, you ready for the Tinker Toy?
Yeah, and I'll blow this too. I have no idea. Go ahead.
I speak Spanish and was better able to communicate with my players.
And translate for some of them.
It's the guy that came after Alston, maybe. Oh, what's his name?
We had this last week. They're grasping. You know who it is and couldn't think of the name.
Oh, yeah.
Tony had that.
I could see his face.
We're going to give you the same courtesy.
I can't think of his name.
The guy that did the sauces and the...
Different commercials, you mean?
Well, he owned a sauce, or he had a sauce with his name. He was in partnership with an Italian.
I just saw him the other day. Sitting behind
he was a friend of Chuck Tanner's, the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Go ahead, I'm done.
Tommy Lasorda.
Yes, Tommy Lasorda. I could not think of that to save my life.
It reminds me of the movie. I think it was the second Fletch movie, and Fletch was in the sheriff's office, and the picture on the wall was of the sheriff, and it said Tommy Lasorda. He goes, "Yeah, that's Tommy Lasorda," and he punched the picture. I hate Tommy Lasorda.
Tommy Lasorda
tells a million.
Very briefly, Tommy Lasorda tells the story of him as like a 12-year-old going to a game in Philadelphia, which is where he was born and raised. And coming out of a game, he waited all this time for one particular player to sign a baseball, and the guy refused him. Like, get out of my way, kid, you know. Mm-hmm. A few years later, when Tommy was 18, he's now pitching for this minor league team. This guy that refused the signature was sent down to the minors.
And he got to pitch against
and he pitched against him. Mm-hmm. And when he stepped into the batter's box, Tommy whizzed one right by his ear, just to get even. Hey, we'll try again sometime, Ter.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, it is break time, and then guys have been holding on now for almost an hour.
Well, he's probably got lots of extra material by the time he gets here.
Mr. Tampa Bay is with us when we come back. Stay aboard.
Parkview Tavern on First Avenue in Breckenridge has 16-ounce Budweiser and Bud Light drafts for just $1.50 all day, every day. Just $1.50. Stop by the Parkview Tavern on First Avenue and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My First Book on Sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
Parkview Tavern on First Avenue in Breckenridge has 16-ounce Budweiser and Bud Light drafts for just $1.50 all day, every day. Just $1.50. Stop by the Parkview Tavern on First Avenue and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
Let's get back to the program again. Our number 724-236-0430. And on the line with us, Mr. Tampa Bay. Good to have you.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good, Tampa. How are you?
Good. I almost called it last week with Ottawa.
Yeah.
Hey, they got there too.
But Penguins are going to lose the first round, 4-2. They're playing the Rangers. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Well, I'd like to see them get skunked, make it 4-0. But I think they're going to win.
You have
them
winning twice. I have them winning once. I get. The first game's Thursday, second game's Saturday, by the way. First two games in New York. Penguins won't have home ice, obviously.
Yeah. I'm going to my favorite sport, baseball. Well, football is my favorite sport on Trivial. But the Pirates, they lucked out the first three games in Cincinnati. They had to win. They're winning all 3 games, and they lost in the bullpen. Their bullpen's still shaky. They need a closer. Melanson, he almost blew that game today. I mean, the best pickup in the offseason for the Pirates was Corey Hart.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
Tony mentioned that earlier. He's so far looks pretty good.
He's three for 3 for pinch hits, RBIs. He has 2. So I'd give him the game ball for today.
Jared Hughes too. Don't forget him. He bailed him out of that bases loaded jam in the 7th inning.
And Hughes. I think Hughes should be the setup man.
I'll tell you what. They give him such stress. They put him in like the most impossible situations and say, okay, now try to figure out a way to get out of it. Most everybody else, they let him start the inning. It's like he only comes in with guys on base.
My mom likes Jared Hughes, just the way he comes out on the field. How he hustles.
He's a big dude too, man. It's amazing how tall these guys are.
I think the Pirates are going to win out of the 10 games at home. They're going to win 8.
Boy, if they had an 8-2 homestand, that'd be pretty nice. They play the Cubs after Milwaukee, so it's 3 against Detroit, 3 against Milwaukee over the weekend, and then the Cubs are in for 4 the early part of early middle next week. And
then they play Arizona next
that'll be interesting, won't it?
Yeah.
After everything that happened last year.
We still have something going with the manager, Arizona.
Oh, La Russa?
No, the one that used to be. I'm sorry, the one that used to be there.
Oh, Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, Kirk.
I don't know. I don't even know what happened to him. He got fired, but
he faded off the face of the earth, man. I haven't heard from him since he got fired.
He's probably eventually going to end up working for the Tigers, is what I would suspect in some capacity. I think Alan Trammell's back in Detroit. He was one of Gibson's top lieutenants in Arizona, and of course they were teammates with those great Tiger teams back in the '80s. And he was a manager of the Tigers for a while. It didn't work out so well, but I think he's gone back to Detroit now as a coach for Brad Osmus on his staff. Gene Lamont's still there coaching. And Jim Leland's still,
something, Lamont.
And Jim Leland's still in the organization. I saw he and Dave Dombrowski, the general manager in Florida, stopping at the hot dog stand before the game to buy a hot dog. I thought it was kind of cute.
Right. And before I go for the Grand Salami, I'm just going to say this. I think Burnett's going to have a 10 strikeout game, and Laureano on Wednesday night is going to have a 10 strikeout game. They're both going to have wins. We're going to sweep Detroit. They're going to be 6-3 when they leave Pittsburgh. Like I said, I got the Pirates winning at least 96, 97 games this year.
Well, I hope you're right, Tampa Bay.
Would be great.
It would be. And then we're keeping our eye on the NFL draft to see what your boys are going to do, which quarterback they're going to take. Now there's some rumblings that they may be souring a little bit on Jameis Winston after they've done a little bit of more investigation into his character.
I don't think they should draft him anyway. He's nothing but trouble. He's bringing trouble to the team from his past.
I would worry. I would seriously worry. I don't think you have any of those worries with Mariota, but the question is, do you think that he is a number 1 pick as a quarterback? And that's the other question they have to answer. The problem with so many of these bad teams is that they keep making the same bad mistakes over and over again, and it just perpetuates itself. And, take the best guy. You got to take the franchise quarterback if he's there, but, what's it going to do if you don't have anybody to go around him? So we'll see what they do, but I think it seemed to be pretty sure it was going to be Winston maybe a month ago, but not so much anymore.
Well, I'm also glad Troy Polamalu decided to retire. He was old and he was hurt. I'm glad he retired as a Spiller.
Glad you brought him up. I am too, and he did it quietly. He doesn't want a press conference, none of that. He's done. See you later. Gonna hang out with the kids, and we probably won't see him again. And I
think he'll be a coach for the Steelers eventually. I think he'll be a defensive back coach.
I don't think he'll ever have anything to do with football ever again. I think he's just going to go away, and he may coach his kids playing or something like that, but he just doesn't. I don't think he'll be. I guarantee you all the TV stations have gone after him already, and he probably told them no. He's not going to be like Hines or Jerome. I don't think the spotlight's something that he's really interested in. But, you never know. We'll see. We'll see if he misses it enough that he wants to get back.
He's a very, very private individual, and he has said it time and time again. He's family first, and he's made his money.
Yeah.
He's set for life and time to spend it with the kids.
Right.
So, anyway. You say Grand
I'm gonna
Salami?
go for Grand Salami.
Well, 3 is the only football question we got. Do you want 3 or do you want 1, 2, 4, and 5?
Give me number 5.
Number 5 it is.
I'm going to pass football.
Okay, here we go.
I ran this one by Mike.
I didn't get it right. That's all I'm going to say. What cereal stopped endorsements from Ted Williams when he applied for a lower military draft status? What cereal company quit accepting endorsements by Ted Williams when he applied for a lower military draft status?
So we're going back to the 40s for World War II.
And it didn't work because he ended up in 2 wars.
Yeah.
So and a hero to boot. So fighter pilot, I believe, right?
I think it was, yeah.
What cereal?
What cereal brand?
What cereal brand quit? He was doing endorsements for the cereal brand, but no more. It still exists today. That's all the further I'm going.
Cornflakes.
It is not cornflakes. See, but that's a perfectly good, logical, reasonable guess. The answer is Quaker Oats. I said cream of wheat.
Wow.
I was in the right church.
You were.
Cereal. Okay, guys.
All right,
hey,
Tampa.
I'll call next week, and like I said, Pittsburgh's going to have an 8-2 homestand.
All right, let's hope we're in the middle of it when we talk to you again.
All right, I'll
Okay.
talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Rich is standing by, but Rich, if we can, I'd like to throw in the commercial break before Rich gets on, and we'll have all the time to fill it up with Rich. So let's do that. Rich is standing by from Cheswick. When we come back, stay with us. Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
For over 38 years and 3 generations, Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store. We have over 4 floors of living rooms, dining rooms, recliners, bedding, carpeting, and so much more.
You'll always find friendly personal service from one of the family.
And our prices consistently beat the competition, plus free local delivery and free setup guaranteed. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Why do my customers choose Husqvarna Power Equipment? That's easy, because my landscaping crew has to rely on a durable product.
I need the performance and quality that Husqvarna provides.
And the innovative products that help me move on with my day.
For maintenance parts or accessories, I don't have to go far. I know my Husqvarna dealer is right around the corner.
Make the impossible possible and visit a Husqvarna dealer near you.
And the nearest Husqvarna dealer, Ace Hardware, New Kensington, right by the ice rink. Okay, we're going to get on the air here with Rich with a reminder to everyone. My Saturday sports history radio show is at 10 in the morning on WAVL on the AM dial. 910 is the dial position. So let's go to Rich. Rich, pleasant good evening. Thank you for calling.
How you guys doing? Okay.
Good, Rich.
Hey, how about Jordan Spieth? He's $1,800,000.
Well,
richer today. 21 years old.
It's a nice paycheck for a 21-year-old. Could you imagine being 21 and going out and earning that?
Fantastic.
I guess he had bought a huge mansion in the Dallas area here in just recently. Before he won $1,800,000 in winning the Masters.
Well, he can pay it off now.
So now he's in pretty good shape.
How old was Johnny Miller when he won the one up in Oakmont back in in the 70s?
The Open.
Yeah, he may have been. He was
He's another one
probably
I
in his
gotta
early
look up.
He's probably in his early 30s by then.
Did he retire from broadcasting?
No, he's still on.
I watched him.
Yeah,
I didn't
he's
see him
still
yet.
on. Yeah, he's still on NBC. The thing is that NBC lost the U.S. Open, so Fox got the U.S. Open, so we'll get more Joe Buck. But he's still there. There were just a couple of the tournaments that they had recently that he, I guess in his contract he only goes to the higher echelon tournaments. Like they'll have the TPC coming up here, I believe on Mother's Day weekend, and he'll definitely do that one.
What about Tiger? He said he popped his bone when he hit that root.
Were you watching it? Did you see the interview when he said it?
He said he put it back in place.
Right. Did you catch Bill McAtee asking the questions and basically, okay.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, really?" And then he just left it open and tried to give him a chance to get out of it. And it's like, okay, Tiger. Tony Kornheiser today on his radio show, somebody brought this up and he said he probably isn't going to play for a while. He goes, yeah, he says he has to go back to medical school, obviously.
By the way, he was 27.
Younger than
when
I
he
thought.
when he played at Oakmont.
That's bursting
I
on the
thought he
scene.
was even younger than that.
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't see too many major champions at that young of an age. I mean, Tiger won the Masters when he was 21. I think Rory McIlroy's first major, he was maybe 20, maybe 22, something like that, when he won the U.S. Open a couple years ago. But you don't see it. A lot of these guys don't really make their breakthrough till after they hit 30. And the peaks of these guys' career are probably in their late 30s and early 40s now. You look at Mickelson. Mickelson didn't win a major league, was over 30.
Hey, on baseball here, Russell Martin, he's only hitting 0.63.
Is he? Well, that's disappointing because I don't want Russell Martin to do poorly. I like the guy. I think he'll be all right. Here's the thing, though. A lot of pressure up there.
It's his home area,
being
right?
the favorite
Yeah.
son and all that money. And you also have to remember, it's not like he's a consistent hitter that he hits 290 every year. The reason the Pirates got him in the first place is because he hit about 210 with the Yankees the year before, and it drove his price down, and the Pirates were able to afford him. So he's been known to have up and downs with the bat, but hopefully he'll get that straightened away. I don't have anything but good things to say about the guy, and I hope he does well.
I see where Albert Pujols hit his 522nd home run. He passed Ted Williams,
Yes.
Willie McCovey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's they get some problems out there in Anaheim. They get swept by Kansas City over the weekend. They have the problems with Josh Hamilton. Now the owner doesn't want to pay Josh Hamilton, and some of the players on the team are upset at the owner about that. And it just can't be a good situation all the way around. And you have guys like Pujols, who's well up into his 30s now, bringing down over $20 million a year. And I know there's no salary cap, but it's not like it's an endless reservoir of money for these people. And I wonder what's going to happen with them with the Hamilton thing, Rich. Now it looks like that they don't want him back on the team, and the union's going to have something to say about it. And apparently now there was nothing in the Hamilton contract, nothing special written in there, no language about the fact that if he would fall off the wagon and have another issue, that that it would void the contract. That the owner, Artie Moreno, seems to think that the standard contract language is saying that he has breached that contract. So we're going to see. I think it's going to get ugly. It's like the Yankees. The Yankees don't want to pay A-Rod his performance bonus money for hitting these home runs. It's like you got out of paying him for a whole year. He didn't play at all last year. I don't know what their problem is.
Rich, what did you say Russell Martin was batting?
0.063.
Okay, good. That confirms. I thought you said something higher. I was going to be.
Cervelli's hitting better than him.
Yeah.
He's about three something. Isn't he?
And Sanchez too. Well, they're going to have a decision, aren't they, when Chris Stewart comes back?
You know what? I hope they keep Sanchez.
Well, I'll tell you what. I hope they keep Sanchez. They can bring Stewart up, and I'd send Lambeau back.
He might be going, yeah.
But see, I think they run into a little bit of problem here. I think they're thin in the outfield, and especially with McCutcheon's knees, obviously, and we said this here for weeks now. McCutcheon's knee is going to bother him basically all season. It's just going to be one of those things we're going to have to deal with, and you hope he doesn't hurt it any worse. But they don't have. And we were sitting here talking earlier, talking to Tony about Corey Hart, and you'd like to get Corey Hart in, and maybe take Marte out for a game or so because of Marte struggling and striking out a lot. And can Corey Hart play left field in that ballpark? And what does that do for left field? I mean, you see you get to the point now where who are you going to move around there? Polanco's never played out there. And Polanco came up as a center fielder, which is part of the reason people think he's having trouble. So I'm not liking the configuration of their backups when it comes to the outfield to try to get your better bats in there. But, we'll see.
Well, what's his name? Hurdle said that he was going to play more substitutes, maybe 2 or 3 games in a row, then put the regulars back in.
Well, he did that with Gong the other day. He played him at shortstop one day and then third base the next. I don't have a problem with that. I think their bench guys are good enough that they can play. I think, and Chuck Tanner always said this, he's going to need them all. And how could you ask a guy to go up there and get a big pinch hit for you if the last time they batted was a week ago when they pinch hit also?
Mm-hmm.
And he's always, and the good managers think it's fair to get these guys in there and get them some playing time. And the byproduct of that is resting your other players. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Rich, we got to do your trivia.
Oh, okay. Let me have multiple choice.
Okay, Rich, when we're done, I want you to stay on the line with me. I have a trivia question for Mike when the show's over, and I'm going to give you a shot at it for the heck of it. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is it my turn anyway?
It is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. You have number 9 in rotation, and the question is who holds the American League consecutive game hitting streak as a switch hitter? So we're throwing away anything accomplished by anybody else, including, of course, Joe DiMaggio. We're talking about the most hits consecutively in games by a switch hitter. Your possibilities are Larry Doby, who played for the Indians about 50 years ago, Ben Zobrist, Jose Offerman, or Shane Victorino, one of those 4.
I'd say Jose Offerman.
You're correct, 1998. 27 consecutive games.
The old joke, and I believe it was Keith Olbermann. They said, "How do you spell Offerman?" O-F-F and 56 E's, because one year he made 56 errors.
All right, Rich, hold on. Here's my
Okay.
question to Mike as we sign off. In 1997, a game played between the Chicago Cubs and the Pirates at Three River Stadium. In the 6th inning, Sammy Sosa hits it inside the park, home run.
Wow.
In the last of the 6th inning, one of the Pittsburgh Pirates hits an inside the park home run, and it's the only time in the history of Major League Baseball that 2 inside the park home runs have been hit by opposing teams in the same inning.
I'm trying to go around the diamond to try to think of what we had. You had Martin Allensworth, probably Turner Ward, guys like that, Kevin Young, Womack. Womack would be a good choice. Elster was a shortstop. Can't think of who was at third, and Kendall. Kendall's a good choice. Martin would have been a good choice. Allensworth. I'm going with Jason Kendall as my original choice.
What do you say, Rich?
How about Womack?
Rich is right.
Is it Womack? Boy, by the way, what a good player he was. And here's how badly run they were back in those days, and we got to get out of here. But they said that he couldn't play shortstop. He couldn't play second base in the major league, so they got rid of him. He went to Arizona, and he played shortstop on a world championship team in Arizona. It showed you how terrible the Pirates were at figuring stuff out.
Rich, I'm going to send you out an extra prize for that, okay? A dozen of donuts.
Thanks, Rich.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
For calling.
All right, so he's got 2 prizes for helping us out.
Thanks to the callers tonight. We had all this stuff, and we didn't get any of it in. We'll save it.
Okay. Folks, thanks for watching our get-together tonight, Sportsline Trivia. We'll see you next week, same time, same station. I'm Bob Tatter.
I'm Mike Padley.
And good night. Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.